turnaround, with like all the best design cues of the RF. We're super proud of finally unveiling this vehicle. Obviously, from the past generation, we kind of gave up the smile. You can see, the front face is going much more sophisticated. But even so, the RF compared to the soft top, we're broadening the audience. And we've done focus groups where a lot of the current MX-5 soft top buyer wouldn't maybe consider this one, even though they think it's really cool, because the soft top is really for the purest kind of two-seater experience. But what we realized, there's so much more broader audience where people that would never consider a two-seater that now look at this vehicle to be like, I could drive this in the city. I don't have to be in the PCH. This is really a complete different experience that we're able to accomplish. So the way we kind of did it is, from day one, designers kind of never entertained this kind of double top and have this the retractable fastback kind of landing vertical on the body. We've always considered having this kind of buttress scenarios, and the idea is to really kind of transfer all of the volumes rearward to give you this kind of dynamism. The other thing that it does is when you look at the overall silhouette, it compares to a lot of the classic, Italian vehicle from the 50s and 60s that stayed embedded, kind of into your mind, and it's such easy to fall in love with that silhouette. So again, it's more of that coupe-like aesthetic that we're trying to target. So what's very interesting is we work really hard, designers and engineers together, on how to put this thing together. One thing we're super proud of is how did we achieve actually this cut line? And most of other manufacturers, that shut line is actually a lot lower from a packaging issue, which kind of defragment the whole tricolor panel, and you kind of lose the whole thematic. What we've done is able to compress all of the hardware in such ways we move that shut line into that crisp where those two surfaces kind of meet. So when you walk through the vehicle, that shut line actually disappears, which is pretty amazing because you have that whole color panel looking like very much seamless. Now, from a graphic standpoint, obviously we didn't want to land, again, vertical here. We had to stretch it. Even if this is black out to not see the hardware, it really helps for the car to all feel a lot more of that kind of rear dynamism. Something else very interesting with the vehicle, we want for you to fall in love with the vehicle, we want your eyes to contain the volume. So there is so much plan view in all of the lines. You can see that from the front, on the hood, reflection-based surfacing, everything is very circular, and even the ratio of where the placement of the tail lamps are really much centered to the vehicle, and you have this pretty kind of consequent offset between the wheel lip. All of this is to really accentuate this kind of concentric dynamism from top view. So your eyes really circle the car very quickly and help for this kind of irrational seduction. I can go in there and show you the cinematic of opening. And go back up again. So obviously the experience is, very much contrasted. If you want to go on a PCH and have this kind of exposure, to the airflow, put the top down. But when you put the top up, obviously the experience will be much more isolated. The NVH noise have been reduced considerably on this vehicle. So I think that, again, the target is much broader. We have people that never thought about buying a two-seater sports car. From an interior perspective, not much has changed with the MX-5 soft top. We do have one grade with the Napa leather. We have a bigger kind of LCD screen on the left of the gauges. And then we see you have kind of the switch to open the whole thing up and down. So yeah, if you have any other question, feel free to walk around. I can take some few questions now and then, yeah.
Is there any safety benefit or structural benefit to this top?
Well, the structure for the rollover, you still have this kind of a headrest structure. So that will be your main protection if you rolled over. Obviously this would allow for more protection, even though from a crash perspective, you still have the headrest back to.
Is there a rating for the roof load? So if you were going to carry a surfboard or something like that?
I don't know this.
We'll look into that. We'll get back to you on that one, Jason.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
In terms of trunk, you losing how much trunk space you losing?
Again, no. This is pretty amazing. We're able to package everything into a really nice bento box in the middle. So from a volume standpoint, nothing has been lost actually.
Roughly the weight difference?
The weight is about a child sitting next to you on the passenger seat. What, 7, 8 years old?
Over 100 pounds.
100 pounds, yeah.
Yeah.
And the balance ratio is very much the same. We talk about the 50-50 to get the perfect driving dynamics. Obviously, even though some of the weight could be transferred slightly to the back, it depends on the amount of gas that you put in the gas tank, more or less. But it's still very much a 50-50 driving dynamic scenario. you.